Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Sandia the Mystic, and this is a space where we connect with ourselves, capital S. Today we are going to be doing a special reading all about your spiritual gifts. Now, these may be gifts that you are totally in tune with, completely tapped into. Perhaps you're just looking for some guidance on how to connect more deeply with them, how to harness them more effectively. Or you could be completely in the dark. You might have no idea what your spiritual gifts are, and you're just looking for some enlightenment and empowerment in regards to that. So that's what we're going to do today together. Before we get into the pile selection, I ask that you all subscribe to the channel, consider subscribing. This is a brand new channel. So all of you early subscribers really do mean the world to me. The only way I'm going to build this channel is with your help and in building a community with your support. So thank you for that if you're already subscribed. If you're not, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Okay. Let's get into the group selection. So we have 3 groups to choose from. Each has a crystal that is associated with it. So here we have crystal number 1 for pile number 1. This is Desert Rose. Pile number 2, we have Rhodonite, a Rhodonite point or tower. And pile number 3, group number 3, is going to be this citrine. Okay, so this is where you can pause the video if you wish, sit with the group, sit with the cards, sit with the crystals, meditate, tap into your higher self, ask yourself, your spiritual team, which pile has the messages for you. And then just pick whichever you're drawn to. You're also totally welcome to listen to a little bit of each and then decide which one sounds like it's for you. You can listen to all 3 and sort of synthesize the information on what messages resonate and which don't. It's totally up to you. There's no wrong way to do it. Just pick a group and I will meet you there. Hello, group number 1. You selected the Desert Rose. This is a beautiful crystal. It's actually like a crystal cluster. The spiritual properties of it are very healing, purifying, protection, clarity, mental clarity, spiritual clarity. It's great for deep meditation. So you might be someone who, has some meditative gifts. You might have the ability to sit in very deep meditation, or perhaps guide people in deep meditation. And yeah, so that's a little bit about Desert Rose. But if you're curious to learn more, give it the old Google and see what else jumps out to you. Okay, so we're going to start by turning over your first card, which is from the Nature Nurture deck, which I love. Okay, group number 1, you got travel. So first and foremost, the spiritual gift that jumps out at me with the word travel specifically is shamanic journeying. Okay, so you may have the spiritual gift of shamanic journeying. Now, this means guiding not only yourself, but others through deep meditations for healing. This could be soul retrieval. This could be taking people back through their traumas and helping them helping people release fear, helping people work with their shadows, helping people, detach negative energies and entities. So you definitely strike me as someone that has the gift of shamanic journeying, deep meditation. Now, this could be, I hope you don't hear that airplane. This could be something that you're already doing. You could be already guiding people through meditations, or perhaps you're more just, discovering this for yourself. I'm also getting the message that you are someone that can introduce others to their spirit guides. Okay, that is also a kind of meditation that you can guide people through is introducing them to their spiritual team through meditation. Now, you might not have done this yet for other people. You might have done it for yourself. If you haven't even done it for yourself, I definitely suggest that you do, because you certainly have the gift to travel through meditation. You might even have the gift of astral projection. which is the ability to literally move your consciousness while your body is in one place, move your consciousness to others. Now, this can be through meditation. You might experience this in dreams. You might have the ability to, in your dream state, travel to other dimensions, travel to parallel realities, travel to other like planets. You may have already experienced this and you're kind of like, well, that was kind of trippy and funky and weird. And I went to a planet in my dream where everyone looked a certain way. Or I went to, this weird world where everything was kind of the same as here, but it was sort of distorted. That might not have been a dream. That might literally have been like an astral projection or a traveling of your consciousness, of your spirit self. So travel is big, right? Meditation, dreams, astral projection, things like this. Definitely tap into your ability to do that. And not only just tap into your ability to do that, but pay attention, right? So start a dream journal. If you're someone that has like these crazy dreams, especially if you have dreams where you're in other worlds or worlds where like reality is just sort of distorted or the rules of that reality are very different than the rules of this one, definitely like start documenting that, take notes with that, and maybe through meditation see if you can go back to those places with a little bit more lucid, right? And then circling back to the meditation thing, if you have discovered some of these travel abilities through meditation, perhaps you're being called to guide others through that. Okay, sitting one-on-one with someone and guiding them through their own soul retrieval, through their own shadow work, through their own introduction to their spiritual team or anything like that. So that is definitely a big spiritual gift that is popping up for you, pile number 1. That's pretty cool. Let's get into some tarot. Oh, okay. Let's get into some tarot for pile number 1. Desert Rose. Okay, so let's even just start here. 3 of Cups, Magician in reverse. With the Magician in reverse, that definitely does signify to me that you haven't quite tapped into this gift yet. Or perhaps you have, but you haven't quite tapped into it in the right way. And the 3 of Cups in reverse suggests to me that the people that, if you are someone who's already like guiding people through meditations and guiding people through, doing shamanic journeying, or perhaps you have been guided yourself through on some shamanic journeys. You have been guided yourself through meditation. This tells me that you haven't quite tapped into the depth of it. Not only the depth of it. Oh shoot! I hope I'm not shaking my camera. Sorry if I am. You haven't quite tapped not only into the depth of your abilities to do this work, but you're still on the mission to find the right people to do it with. Okay, so that's what this is saying to me. So let's say if you are of that camp of people who have been led through some shamanic journeying and have been led through meditations, and that's how you've traveled very powerfully, perhaps the people or the group of people that you've done that with are just not really in alignment anymore with your continuing on that journey. And so it's about redirecting and calling in the right people. Or if you are the one, which I'm getting more of the sense that you are the one that is the guide, right? You are the magician, you are the shaman, but you just haven't quite found the right people to do this work with. And that also might be another reason why you feel like you might be feeling like your spiritual gift in this sense is just not completely opened up for you yet, or not completely shown up in your life the way that you know that it can. Now, this is not to say that the people that you're doing this with or have done this with are the wrong people. Do you know what I mean? It just speaks to the fact that, you're still calling in the right people, the people that really need you. And you're still calling them in, but they're on their way in, right? This energy is very much approaching. Those people are starting to find you, but there's this ownership of your gift that has not quite fully hit for you yet. There is some element of owning this gift, of knowing this gift, of trusting this gift that you haven't quite fully gotten there yet, right? And that's why the door is only like a little bit open for people to find you. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a message to perhaps, maybe it's been a while since you took yourself on a little journey, on a little meditative journey. Maybe that's what this is about, right? So It's this energy of like, hey, come back in to the self and understand like where is there still not enough room? Where have I still not created enough room for the right people to find me so that I can actually use this spiritual gift towards others, for others, right? And that's something, for you to discover and experience. Now, this energy in reverse tells me that this is like, you're on the precipice of this right now. You might actually be doing this work right now. Like you might actually be already in the depths, like knee deep in your own shadow work, trying to figure out and trying to work through whatever you need to work through. So that way you can be totally open and totally there for the people that need you, that you can be the magnet, and attract all the right people that need your gift. You could be already knee deep into this work. You could be slowly like finishing this work. Okay. But that's where like, I don't want to say the disconnect. It's not the disconnect because you're connected. It's not that, but that is the piece of the puzzle. There is a piece of the puzzle that is still waiting to be found. Okay. And, but you're very close. You're very close. So if you're already doing this work, keep doing what you're doing. All right. Let's go a little bit further. What are some other spiritual gifts? What are some other spiritual gifts for pile number 1? What are some other spiritual gifts for pile number 1? Dang, lots of reversals for you guys. Oh, am I just holding my deck upside down? Oh, kind of. Well, I don't know. It's all over the place. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Let's grab another one. Oop. Okay, a couple more. Okay, let's get into some more spiritual gifts. Okay, so you definitely have the ability to, okay, you have so much vision. You have so much vision. And what I mean by that is you have this ability to see the potential in everything and everyone. That is a beautiful gift, right? The power to truly see everybody's light, and not only see their light as it stands before you, but you have in your mind's eye, with your third eye, you can see that person's light shining as brightly as possible, even if that's not anywhere near where they're at. Does that make sense, pile 1? That is such a beautiful and powerful gift. Like, you really can see the best version of people. You can see the God in everyone. Wow, that's beautiful. The gift is seeing the light inside every single person. Now, the piece of the puzzle that we need to define more clearly is how to ground and integrate that with people in the 3D. Right? So, because the reality is, yes, it's beautiful to travel to other dimensions. It's beautiful to travel to, spiritual places, other planets, what have you, right? However, we do live in the 3D. We do live on this world. So it's like, how do I not only see the gifts, the God in all people around me and myself, but then bring that into the 3D? Right. And perhaps this is another reason why this energy is reversed, right? Because it's like, it's not enough to just take people on the journey. It's not enough to just take people through that meditation to bring out the best in someone. But then it's like, okay, how does that person then go on and apply it into the 3-dimensional? And that is when you can get there, that's the full circle moment. Okay, that is the full circle moment. That is when you take your gift, offer it to people, and then actually see it move through the world and change the world in a tangible way, which is what I know you really have that, right? You really have that in you, like this ability, and not only ability, but this desire to heal and to help, right? And to shift. So this is a message saying like, hey, as I've just said, right? Take that gift, see that light, learn how to help people shine it on earth. Now, whatever that means to you. So sit maybe in a meditation and get a little further into that, right? What could that mean? Let's see. Let's go a little further. What are some other spiritual gifts? What are some other spiritual gifts? Oh, okay. Wow, 9 of Cups and then 9 of Wands, 9 energy. And then 9 plus 9 is 18, which reduces to 9. So that's really powerful. okay. So this energy, this speaks to your ability to hold both. Your ability to hold contentment and satisfaction and joy with your ability to hold struggle, fear, these kind of more shadowy, emotions and experiences, right? So you really have, one of your spiritual gifts is that, right? Your ability, you have this vastness, like you are so vast, you are so expansive. And within that vastness, within that expansion is your ability to hold the light and the dark. A lot of people, they call themselves light workers or shadow workers, right? We can kind of be in these boxes like, oh, I work with the light, I work with shadow selves, whatever. But you actually have the gift to truly harness both and integrate both. So you might be going through a phase where you're focusing more on one or the other. Perhaps you're coming out of that phase, but do know that you're spiritually gifted in a way that you actually don't have to pick one or the other. Your gift is your ability to work with both simultaneously, to hold both simultaneously. And that demands like big, vast energy. That demands such a strong container. You are a container, pile one. You are a container for everything, for all that is, right? So definitely make sure that you take care of yourself, because that can really take a toll. Make sure that you're sourcing your energy from other places. You are one of those people that, to me, I'm feeling like, and again, this is specific messages for specific people. So if this doesn't resonate, that's totally fine. But if it does, you are one of those people that needs to go outside and like put your feet in the ground on a regular basis, because you are so vast, you are so expansive. Sometimes we can get a little bit, not dissociative, it's not that, it's this energy of getting, we hold so much of the world and other people's experiences that sometimes we get a little bit away from our own personal physical needs, right? And so it's like this energy of needing to ground yourself on a regular basis. Not many people have this sort of vastness, right? Many people can only really focus on what's right in front of them, can only hold one polarity at a time. You're not like that, group number one. So go out there, like hug a tree, literally hug a tree, put your feet in the dirt, walk in the grass. You know what I mean? Like go to the freaking river, wash your hands in it, splash your face with some river water, right? That energy, like connect with the planet to stay grounded and to stay like to maintain your ability to source your energy from outside of yourself. That is so important. Okay. I want to pull another one of these ones for you. Spiritual gifts for group one. Spiritual gifts for group number one. Evolve records. Okay. Yeah. So records, that's pretty clear, right? Past life, Akashic records, evolve. So not only do you have the ability to travel to other dimensions, to other planets, to other parallel realities, you actually can travel to the Akashic records. This may be something you've already done or something you've been curious about, but haven't really explored in a intentional, thoughtful way. But that is, you can do that. You can travel to the Akashic records. You can tap into your own and other people's past lives. Well, really parallel lives, right? They're parallel lives, they're parallel realities. And then you can help yourself and others harness that information to empower themselves to move through. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what's really important about this though. And this circles back to that earlier message, the couple of earlier messages about integrating everything and grounding it in the 3D in this reality. Traveling to the Akashic records and gathering information about past lives or parallel lives or however you want to define it, when it's relevant. Okay? Some information is genuinely not relevant and actually can almost distract us and pull us away from what it is we're trying to do here, now, in the present, in this reality. Right? So bring a little bit of discernment to this. right? Your ability to travel to past lives, your ability to travel to the Akashic records, bring some discernment, like especially if you're taking other people on these journeys, right? If you're the travel guide, make sure you're really like connecting with like, is this relevant to this life? Is this relevant to this problem? Because if it's not, then that is, not only is that not really grounded, but yeah, it can create a lot of confusion, and not a lot of people have that expansiveness that they can hold so much information, right? Stay relevant. Keep the information that you seek when you are journeying. And this is just even when you're journeying on your own. When you are journeying, when you are traveling, when you are meditating, especially when it pertains to the records, past lives, parallel realities, keep the information relevant, right? So when you go into your next journey, maybe like set up those kind of parameters for yourself where you're like, okay, only the information that is relevant, that can be integrated into the here and now, into the 3D, is the information that I seek, not any and everything. Okay. Because I mean, all things are true and all things are real and all things are happening, right? So, and not everything is necessary to know. Okay. Evolve. So you have the ability, this speaks to a different spiritual gift. I mean, it's all connected, right? Because I'm talking genuinely about the same kind of person, but, you have the spiritual gift to walk with people through their ascension, and you yourself are constantly ascending. You're the kind of person that like people that knew you 3 years ago know a totally different version of you. People that knew you 10 years ago do not know you at all. Not because you don't have a strong sense of self. It's not because of that at all. It is because of your ability and your desire to grow, to ascend, to constantly be elevating your frequency. Okay. And you have the ability to do that with other people too, right? If you are doing this work in a genuine way, then those that are around you will be inspired to do the same. Okay. You bring that out of people. You bring that out of people through being on this journey, you know, in a really authentic way yourself. Okay. So, but also then, you know, that does mean that not everybody is going to be into that. Not everybody's really into not just personal growth, period, right? But spiritual growth, that is very scary. That is very scary for a lot of people. But there's something about your energy group one that I'm picking up on that like you have the ability to make that feel not scary. And that's major, you know, because people often fear the unknown. People often fear, and it's not only just the unknown in sense of like the unknown about like what they can't see, right? The spiritual realm, the different dimension, like fifth dimension, etc. But people fear the version of themselves that they don't know. So people get super comfortable being where they're at and just staying there because it is familiar. And so when they're around other people that sort of push them out of their comfort zone and sort of push them to, you know, have a different perspective, a lot of people reject that and run away from that and judge it because it helps them stay where they're at. But you, pile number one, something about your energy is not only not scary to people, it's like you, and it probably circles back to this vastness that you have because you can actually hold both. You can hold people where they're at, and you can hold where they're going, right? That goes back to the like your ability to see the God in everybody. And there's something about that when other people encounter that in you, they're not scared of it. You know, you might have that ability to bring that sort of spiritual side out of people who would otherwise never have even considered that part of themselves. That is so beautiful. We need more people like that. Pile one. We need more people like that. If we're trying to like ascend this planet and we are trying to like create the new earth together, we need more of this energy because a lot of spiritual people can be very exclusive and exclusatory, right? It's like this energy of like, oh, I know the truth. I know the truth and you don't know the truth. Therefore, I'm vibrating at a higher frequency than you. And it's sort of like, okay, cool. That's great for you. But what you're doing is you're really excluding all the people that need that energy, that are trying to find that energy and might not, you know where to look. But you, pilot number one, you are not like that. You have this inclusive energy. You have this energy like, hey, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everyone's welcome to evolve without judgment. Man, like you can really just meet people where they're at, pile one. That's so freaking awesome. That is so inspiring. We need more people like that. You can meet people where they're at and you can see where they have the potential to go. That's freaking sick. Cool. Let's pull maybe just like one or two more tarot for you. I'm vibing with you guys, whoever you are. The Star in reverse. So listen, let me actually just vibe on the Star in reverse for a second as it relates to all of this. This to me, you know, normally when the card is upright, it's this energy of like, look above, right? Look up, follow the stars. It's this energy also of purification, rejuvenation, rebirth, etc. But there is this energy of like, look up at the star, right? Follow the star, follow the guiding light. But when it's in reverse, especially like pertaining to this reading, it's almost this energy of look down. I hope I'm not shaking my camera too much. I'm so sorry if my camera's been shaky. It's almost this energy of look down, right? Like that circles back to the thing about the grounding energy, like getting grounded. That is so important to you, for you. Okay. Look down, look to the earth. Look to the earth. Think about roots. Think about roots. Think about seeds. Think about watering the earth. Okay. These are practices that are so important to you. And, you know, as it relates to a spiritual gift, that could also be like one of your spiritual gifts is your ability to be the ground. Your ability to be the ground. That could also speak to an ability that you have to channel, actually. You might have already tapped into this, but maybe not. But I'm getting a very clear message right now that you are a channel. You are a channel. You have the ability to channel energies and entities. You have the ability to, circling back to travel, you have the ability to channel, whether it's parallel versions of yourself or whether it's like literally just other like extraterrestrial deities, angels, however, ancestors. You have the ability to channel them, and let them speak through you because you are a ground. In order for something to come through a channel, like think of it like a circuit, right? Like there has to be a grounding force. And so that's you. You are a grounding force, and therefore you create this grounding force for a circuit, right? For something to be channeled through you. So if you're into that already, go for it. This is confirmation that is like definitely something. Like if you kind of channel a little bit here and there and you're sort of like, oh, I'm not sure, is that what I'm doing? I don't know. Yes. Yes, you are channeling. Okay, 100%. And if you haven't quite gotten into that or explored that yet, baby, please do. Please do. But really important, be oh so very grounded when you start to explore or continue to further your channeling. Be very, oh so very grounded. Now, there are so many different ways to practice grounding, but you might be someone, you know, that really needs to, let's get confirmation about how to ground. How can group 1 ground themselves? How can group 1? Oh man, that almost went right into the candle. 4 of Pentacles. So what I love about the way this card show up in this reading is this person is, I mean, you know, normally this has a very different context, but this person is like very grounded, right? Seated, feet firm on the floor, sitting up straight. And you know what's funny is this right now, the way that these pentacles are showing up on this card make me think of the chakras. So this is some energy to, or a message to like just balance your chakras. Balance your chakras. When we are travelers, when we are those that can, you know, go on these deep meditations, go visit the Akashic records, we're someone who can do all of this stuff and be sort of in other worlds, whatever. It's very easy for us to get very into these upper chakras, third eye chakra, crown chakra, right? And sometimes we forget, because what's funny, right? You don't really see anything here in the center. Sometimes we forget our root chakra and our sacral chakra. So do some meditation to just balance your chakras. If you feel like you're not grounded, if you feel anywhere out of alignment, but chakra specifically, okay? And just make sure that the energy line that runs through you, the main chakras, right? The main 7 chakras. And just make sure that energy line is clean and balanced. That is so important for you, group 1. Okay. I mean, obviously all of us will benefit from balanced chakras, but that is the message that's coming out for group number 1 specifically. Okay. Okay, so that is your reading, pile number 1, group number 1, my desert roses. I hope it was illuminating. I hope it perhaps confirmed some things you already knew, maybe gave you some insight into things that you didn't quite know. So let me know how it resonated below. Let me know if you're already in tune to these gifts, if you've already been exploring all this stuff, or maybe not, and now you're super curious. Just let me know. And again, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you join me as we build this community together. Okay, so I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, group 2, welcome to your reading. We're going to get into discovering your spiritual gifts. You chose the Rhodonite Tower or Point. People call them both, so whichever your vibe is, that's what it is, okay? So a little bit about Rhodonite. This is like heart chakra energy. This is love, compassion, nurturing energy. So you may have been drawn to it because, you know, that is one of your spiritual gifts. You might have this like deeply nurturing presence about you. You might be incredibly compassionate. You might be someone that people feel very safe and loved around. You might be someone that people feel they can go to when they themselves are like feeling down on themselves, and they feel like, oh, I spend time with this person and I just feel lighter, I feel better, I feel more love, that kind of a thing, which is super beautiful. So that's a little bit about Rhodonite. Let's actually put that here. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to open this first card, which was the one that you selected with your crystal, and see what it says. Leadership. Okay. All right, group 2. So there you have it, right? In black and white and brown. Leadership. That is a spiritual gift. So for me, this says not only leadership, but your ability to teach. Okay. You have the ability to really speak on and lead people through different spiritual growth and endeavors, right? You might be someone who's incredibly knowledgeable about spiritual topics. This could mean you're knowledgeable about meditation. This could mean you're knowledgeable about deities. This could mean that you're really knowledgeable about, spell work. This could be you're you're knowledgeable, about rituals, about crystals. You might know a lot about herbs. You might know a lot about, esoteric symbolism. You might know a lot about divination, right? And so your spiritual gift is not only your ability to hold all this knowledge, but your ability to share it and teach other people the way, right? Teach other people the way so that they might, further themselves on the spiritual path. That's what real leadership is, right? Leadership is your ability to show people the way, not like through your wisdom, through your example, and then through your ability to communicate these things well, right? So you might already be sort of like tapped into that. You might actually be a spiritual teacher. You might be someone who, coaches people, who guides people, who, that might already be something that you do in a really intentional way. Or you just might find that people are just drawn to you when it comes to spiritual topics, and they just want to pick your brain. They just want to know what you think. They just want to know how you feel. They want to know, hey, like what is your experience with this, with that, with blah. That's because like they trust you. You have this energy about you that you not only seem like an authority on these things, and I say authority in a really positive way, meaning that you really know your shit, but they trust that your thoughts, your experiences are thoughts and experiences that are worth like them knowing, because they trust that it is something that they can apply to their own life. And they just trust that you know the way, babes. They're like, this person has got it figured out, right? I will listen to what they have to say in regards to these topics, and I will apply that to my own practices. So if you're not tapped into that gift yet, this is definitely a message that, to explore that, explore teaching, explore coaching, explore just discussing these topics in a really open way. Sometimes we avoid talking about our spiritual path, talking about our spiritual experiences, talking about our spiritual practices, because it feels very, sometimes there's like fear around, are people going to think I'm like woo woo? Are people going to think I'm crazy? Are people going to think that I'm weird? And not only is that, like, first of all, who cares? Because the people that do think that are just not there yet, or maybe never will be there in this life. That's not what they came here to do, and that's totally fine. They're not for you. But the people that do need your leadership, your guidance, your mentorship, they're waiting for you to speak on these things. They're waiting for you to be open, candid, about where you are on these things. And if you're already doing that in a small way, maybe this is a what's the word? Invitation to explore doing it on a larger scale. Are you someone who creates content? Are you someone who, you can make you can make some short form or long form content just discussing your knowledge, your expertise, your experiences with spiritual topics, with spiritual experiences, okay? So just know that if you do decide to tap into this ability to be a leader, a mentor, and a teacher, and a guide, that like people will find you. People will find you and they will listen to what it is you have to say. So maybe it's either you need to put yourself out there more, or maybe it's just be really open to and allow people to find you. Okay? But that is a big message for pile number 2, leadership, mentorship, spiritual teacher. Let's get into some tarot for group number 2. Group number 2, leadership. Group number 2. Lots of cards. Oop. Excuse me. Okay. So let's actually just start here. 5 of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse. So people need your guidance because this is the energy that I'm picking up on, is like the people that need you, like genuinely need you. There are people that are going through dark nights of the soul. There are people that are going through scarcity mindsets. There are people that are dealing with a lot of lack, a lot of fear, a lot of confusion, heartbreak, just all of these different like kind of shadowy experiences, which, we all go through. And they're searching for someone or something to help them feel a sense of empowerment, feel a sense of ownership over what's going on in their life. And you hold the wisdom to that. A few words from you, a few concepts, a few sentences from you about your own experience. I mean, this could really help people. This could really help people come through, because you have not had an easy time. Pile 2, you have been through some stuff. You have seen some things. You have gone through, your own time of poverty or illness or lack or pain. You have gone through your own time of isolation, of loneliness. And it is through your spiritual journey that you've come to this place, that you've been able to move through that. And people need to hear about that, Pile 2. People need to hear about that because they need that for themselves. So not only is it a message that you have this ability to be a leader, to be a mentor, to be a guide and a teacher, but it's like people are actually searching for this right now. And this also, I'm getting this message, like you have the ability to do it in such a real way. Sometimes we listen to people, spiritual leaders, spiritual teachers, and they talk in this way that feels really inaccessible. They talk in this way that makes like those of us that listen feel very like, whoa, I'm nowhere near that. That person is so on another level. I can't even begin to comprehend. I don't even understand some of the language they're using. Some of those concepts, they're so deep. And I just feels too, and that person themselves almost feels like they're on a pedestal. And that's not for everybody. In fact, most people don't really need that. You have the ability to lead and guide and teach in such a grounded, embodied, and accessible way that is so powerful. Like Yeah. So how do you do that, right? How can you do that? How can you discuss these things and talk about spiritual topics in a way that is just so real? So that means not doing it like everyone else is doing it. That means finding the way to do it that is just so intrinsically you and just so authentic. So don't definitely there's a message coming through, like definitely don't be tempted to kind of to just sort of be that guru of energy that everyone, else is, right? Like it's not about being the guru or being the, what's the ascended master, you know what I mean? And speaking in parables and this kind of thing. That's beautiful. That's great. If that's what feels natural for you, then do that. But it can also just be like very real, talking as if you're talking to a friend about relatable experiences in a spiritual way. Okay, group 2. So take that for what it is and make with that what you will. But I'm telling you, people need that right now from you. All right, let's go a little further into your tarot. Okay. All right, so going further into your spiritual gifts, you know what this energy gives to me? It gives to me this ability. What makes a good teacher? You know how they say those who can't do teach? Now, the reason that what I think that phrase really means is the people that are really good teachers, they are able to hold on to what it feels like to not know. So what I mean by that is if you're trying to teach someone and you have this like level of expertise, you have this level of knowledge, of high knowledge in your field, whether like in your field of spirituality or whatever your field is as a teacher, your ability to always stay connected to that beginner spirit in the sense where you remember what it is like always to be the one that cannot do. And so because of that, you're able to always meet people exactly where they're at and be the most effective teacher. I think sometimes teachers, especially when someone's really an expert at something, and we see this in the spiritual field all the time, right? When someone is so an expert, so deep, so knows, they speak from this place that, it circles back to what I was saying, is really inaccessible because they forget what it's like to not know any of this stuff. Right? And that's almost what this energy for me too here with the balancing of the yin and yang, the light and the dark. It's like this balancing, your ability to balance the amount of actual wisdom that you hold and your ability to balance that with like staying connected to that beginner's spirit, that the spirit of that the one that doesn't know yet is your superpower. So that to me says that like going deeper into your spiritual gift of being a leader, of being a teacher, staying connected to your audience of people, and maybe that is your audience, right? Staying connected and connecting to an audience of people that really are beginners, that really don't know and that are really looking for their way into the spiritual world, right? Your ability to hold what that was like for you, to know nothing and to welcome people from that place is so powerful and so necessary, group 2. Okay, so your ability to hold both is a big spiritual gift. And honestly, that makes you a great teacher in general. No matter what you're teaching, whether you're teaching spiritual practices, whether you're teaching, spell work, whether you're literally teaching someone math, right? It's like this ability of like, remember when we would all sit at the table with our parents and how it was so painful when they try to teach, like do our homework with us because it was like, why aren't you getting this? It's so obvious. That is the worst kind of teacher, right? Because they forgot what it's like to be the one who can't do. But you're not like that, group 2. You are the teacher. You are the leader. And going deeper into like what it means to be a leader, meeting people where they're at is such a big part of that, because then you're able to see exactly what they're bringing to the table at that given moment and help them harness that gift as it is, versus being so hyper focused on someone's potential and then you sent them on this quest to like become someone else first before they can even start to change their own life, change their reality, create something new for themselves. It's like, no, let me meet you exactly where you're at, and I can see right now what you have to offer, and we can harness this in this moment as we also grow and develop our other gifts, right? You have that ability, group number 2, to do that. So, really, like, speak to the beginners. See, that's exactly, listen, I just work here, okay? That's exactly what I'm talking about. The Fool energy. The Fool energy is so powerful because it is the beginner. The Fool is the beginner. They have the beginner's mind. They have the beginner's spirit. They have beginner's luck. They have this like trust and surrender, literally taking that leap of faith. If you stay connected to that Fool spirit, that Fool kind of energy, that's who the people that need to find you, that just can't access what they're trying to access in the spiritual realm. The people that need to find you will find you because they're going to see themselves in you, and they're going to be like, oh, like this feels actually like we're speaking the same language, even though I don't really know what they're talking about yet, but I get it. Okay. So stay connected to that beginner's mind, that Fool spirit, that Fool energy. You have that ability to man, that's awesome, group 2. We need that in the spiritual teacher space, like we really need more and more of that. Let's go deeper into some of your spiritual gifts. I'm going to pull, the Magician. The Magician and the Fool. Wow. This is the beginning of the major arcana, right? 0 and 1. This just says that like you are meant to initiate people. Your gift is the ability to initiate people. Your gift is to take someone who knows very little to nothing about like the spiritual realm, who is really just trying to come in. This could also be people that are like recovering from religious traumas and they're trying to find a new way, right? Your ability to initiate them and bring them in and take them from the Fool to the Magician. From the one who doesn't know but is open and to the one who begins to harness their power. Wow, that's amazing. That is so awesome, group 2. Let's grab another one of these nature nurture cards. See if we can get into some different spiritual gifts, or maybe more of this one. Who knows? We'll let spirit decide. All right, group 2, spiritual gifts for group 2. Oh, let's actually take these. All right, action and nurture. I'm gonna put this one away. Action and nurture. Well, that actually circles back to this rhodonite as well, right? The ability to nurture others. The ability to, you could really be, I'm picking up one of your gifts, group 2. You are like this safe space. Something about your energy makes people feel so calm. It makes people feel so seen. It makes people feel loved. And I think that's because like you're so connected with that pure spirit energy, which is love. You're so connected with that love frequency. People feel it when they're around you. They might not even be conscious that that's what they're tapping into and that's why they like being around you, but that's what it is. You just hold that frequency of love so beautifully and so consistently that people are drawn to that and they just feel nurtured by being in your presence. You don't even have to do anything. At least for you, it probably feels like you're not doing much. You're just being yourself. That's enough. That's enough. Just being you and moving through the world with that energy, with that frequency that you hold. You are healing people left and right and you don't even realize you're doing it. People spend time with you, they walk away and they feel a little bit more whole. That's freaking awesome, group number 2. Yeah. It's like, you feed people. That's the nurture energy, right? Also, like you feed people with love. You fill their cup. You're a cup filler, baby. That's awesome. Action, fire. You inspire others as well. You inspire people. You nurture and you inspire. Oh man, what a beautiful combo. What a beautiful combo, because you know what that does? It makes it so that when people leave your presence and they feel that wholeness, they feel that like that love frequency, they're able to take a little bit of that, like from their interaction with you, they're able to take a little bit of that and they feel that. And then it inspires them to project more of that into the world. It's like a ripple effect. You are the center of the ripple. That is another spiritual gift of yours. your ability to create the ripple effect in, and this could be like, man, you could be one of those people that has super brief interactions. You know, you might be the kind of person that talks to like the checkout lady at the grocery store or whomever, and you have this like brief interaction, but you just radiate like this loving, nurturing, compassionate frequency that you made that person like a person's day a little bit better. And then they act on that feeling, and then they spread it, and then it continues to spread, and there's this ripple, right? It's like the fanning of the flame. That is like, you have that. So definitely you might not see the way that it ripples, but trust that it does. Trust that it does. And this just circles back to your ability to be a leader, because that's how affecting you are. That's how effective you are, group 2. You literally can just smile at someone and change their day. You literally can just say, hey, how are you doing? Da, da, da. Change someone's day. Changing someone's day can change their life. So if you actually harness that in like a big way, and you create a platform, or you just speak with more intention, or you just open yourself up. You know, I'm not even like trying to push you to become like a content creator, become like an actual spiritual, you know, space sort of like a person, like in that way. Like it can literally just be being open to letting people find you, being open to connecting with people in that way, and just know that, wow, you have the ability to really affect so much change. That's really inspiring. Group number 2. I mean, literally fire, right? Inspiration. That's really inspiring. Let's pull one more nature nurture card for you. One more nature nurture card, or maybe a couple more. We'll see what comes out. I'm just going on vibes. Oh. Abundance. Oh. And guide. I mean, come on. Come on. Listen, that's what you are. You are the guide. And you know, with these last couple ones too, it's like you don't even have to really do much. You don't really have to do much because you just are intrinsically that way. And, you know, abundance, I think it just speaks to your ability to be in the flow of this energy. You know, we can be abundant in so many different things. Sometimes, you know, we get very caught up in material abundance when we think about the word abundance, especially in the spiritual place, right? When we're manifesting abundance, most people think like money, monetary, material abundance, which is totally valid. That's a, you know, very potent form of energy. But abundance can also mean an abundance of community. It can mean an abundance of love frequency. You know, it can be an abundance of compassion, an abundance of nurture. You know, like you are just like, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the cup runneth over. That's the message I'm getting right now. You are literally the image of like this magical cup. I'm seeing this magical cup that just, you take from it, you take a little water, and it just refills itself. It just replenishes itself. You're like that. You just have, that's your abundance. You can just pour from this cup and then it just replenishes. Now that doesn't mean that you should never take steps to like refill your cup, like intentionally or actively. Absolutely you should, especially if you feel yourself getting energetic burnout. But like, you know, you just have a bigger cup than most. Your cup is just, I mean, this is like a freaking, you know, bucket, baby. You're pouring from a bucket, not a cup. You know what I mean? So you just have more to give. You have this abundance. Again, still make sure that you're actively refilling that bucket when it's time. But I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. And that is what makes you a leader. That is what makes you a guide. That is what makes you the center of the ripple. Group number 2. You're so dope. You sound awesome. Okay, group 2, that was your reading. I hope you found it empowering, enlightening, and yeah, maybe it confirmed some things you already know, or maybe it gave you some new information that you can use going forward. All right. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel and just let me know how it resonated in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, last but not least, group 3. Welcome to your reading. You selected the citrine crystal. Citrine is a stone that's all about confidence, energy, self-expression, creativity, think solar plexus chakra, that kind of a thing. So you might, one of your spiritual gifts might be like your creativity, your ability to express things. You could have this like, this really one of those, you might be one of those people that are like, man, where did they get their energy? Where do they get their energy? Every time I see them, they're just like ready to do it, that could be you. That's just what I'm picking up from the stone, but I'm sure there are other properties of this crystal. So check it out if you're interested in more about citrine, but we're going to get into your reading about your spiritual gifts. So first we have, message. Okay. So listen, group number 3, right off the bat, I am picking up that you are clairaudient and or claircognizant. So if you know about the psychic clairs, there is clairaudience, which is psychic hearing, clear hearing, really clear hearing, right? Clairsentience, clear feeling, claircognizant, which is clear knowing, clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. There's also like smelling and touching. I can't remember what those ones are called. But yeah, so you definitely I'm getting clairaudience for you, right? So that means that you might be the type of person that you receive and claircognizance as well, right? So you get downloads, you get messages from spirit, you get psychic messages. You might be just going about your day or thinking about something, wondering about something, and all of a sudden, boom, this like phrase pops into your head, or you hear a word, or you hear a sentence, or you hear this like voice telling you the truth, telling you the answer, right? Telling you the way. You might be someone that's very connected to your intuition because of your ability to receive messages. Now, clairaudience can manifest in so many different ways. Some people actually hear like a voice outside of themselves as if someone's sitting next to them talking. Some people hear their inner voice, like the same voice or the same way that you might hear your thoughts, you will hear messages like that too, like from spirit, psychic messages. You could also be both, or you could be just claircognizance, where you just sort of know the answer, right? You get this message in this form of knowing, where you're just sort of like, I wonder, should I do this or should I do that? Or is this the answer? Is that the answer? And then all of a sudden there's just this physical, intrinsic gut knowing, like it's definitely that. Boom. That's what it is, right? That's you. Psychic, baby. You are psychic. You might already know this. You might be in touch with your psychic abilities. Or maybe you might not realize that the messages that you are receiving, the voice that you hear, that inner voice, that inner just knowing about things is actually your like psychic ability, but that's what it is. So if you haven't really harnessed it or tapped into it in that way, this is definitely your invitation to do that, right? Explore your psychic abilities, because you do have the ability to receive and channel messages. I'm getting that too. You have the ability to channel messages. You might be someone who reads cards. And if you're not someone who reads cards, you might find that you do very well with that, because air is also the element of like communicating, right? Communicating things, speaking things. So it's not only the ability to receive messages, group number 3, but you have the ability to communicate messages. Okay. So again, you might be someone that reads cards or is interested in reading cards, but if you do that or not, there are all totally other systems of divination where you can receive and communicate messages to others, whether that's through cards, whether that's through, maybe you read like flames, maybe you do automatic writing. I'm getting that too. You might be someone who, if you haven't tried automatic writing, that might be very much something to explore, especially because the lines in this card almost look like distorted like lines on a piece of notebook paper, right? Like distorted and moving around in a really cool way. But so this is you might try automatic writing. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically where you you start writing to yourself. You can do it in so many different ways, right? A lot of people do the practice where they'll write a question and then they'll let themselves just sort of write the answer to it. Sometimes they use a different pen for like the question and then a different pen for the answer. Other times, some people just kind of start scribbling and swirling and whatever, and then eventually they'll just kind of start writing random words, sometimes entire phrases. And if you start doing this early, and you haven't done it before, the things you write might not make any sense to you. That's okay. It's a practice, right? You can also just like sit with it and like see how it shows up in your world over the next however long, a couple of days, couple of months. But yeah, definitely automatic writing could be something for you to explore. Divination could be something for you to explore if you're not already doing it, okay? Because that is very much the ability to receive and communicate messages from spirit, from higher mind, from higher self, and other people's higher selves as well. So that's awesome. We love a psychic. We love a psychic. Let's get into some tarot for you. Well, let's go with that one. Why not? Let's get into some tarot for you about further spiritual gifts. So you have excellent judgment. You have excellent judgment, and that especially speaks to your ability to protect yourself. All right? You have the spiritual gift of protection. Now, that means that whenever so listen, judgment, especially in regards to like your psychic ability, means that you can see people, but not only see people, but you can see right through them. You can see right through people. You can see right through situations. And I've said this before. This might be some of the same people from another reading that I had a similar message about your ability to see people. But you can judge a situation, like whether it is right for you or wrong for you, whether it is what it appears to be or whether not, right? If there's some deception going on, you can see that and you have the psychic ability to protect yourself. Okay? So never think that that's out of your control. If you're someone who has experienced betrayal, heartbreak. Oh, my dog's here. Hold on. Come on. Oh, she wants to sit on my lap. If you're someone who has experienced betrayal, someone who has experienced heartbreak, someone who has experienced, just dishonesty, you know what I mean? Things like this, at the hands of, or by the hands of, or through the co-creation with other people, you need to tap into your gift of protecting yourself against them. And not only against them, right? But protecting yourself against that kind of energy in general. You are so much stronger than you think, group number 3. You are so much... I wonder if you can hear my dog growling. She just saw someone walk by. And she's a little growly girl. Yes. So know that you actually do have the ability to protect yourself. You are stronger than you think. Okay. So you're definitely being called to work some protection rituals, some protection magic. There are so many ways to do that, to work your protection, whatever way you feel called to. Because we're getting the element of air, that might be through, spell work, specifically saying protection spells, writing out protection spells, writing petitions, writing, automatic writing, whatever, think air element. But even outside of that, there are other things you can do. You can do spiritual baths for protection. You can anoint yourself with oil for protection. You can do a candle ritual for protection. You can use crystals for protection. Crystals like obsidian and, black tourmaline, just black crystals specifically are really protective, but even amethyst can be good for protection, stuff like that. Herbs for protection, talismans, etc. Ooh, even as I say that, evil eye for protection, things like this. You are being encouraged to work your protection gifts. Because not only do you have the ability to protect yourself from any and all energies and entities that are not in alignment with you walking the highest path for the greatest good, but you have the ability to protect others as well. You have that ability to protect others around you. So if you move through the world and into all spaces with this energy of I am a force field. I am a force field, and everything that I judge that is worthy and right to be within my force field is protected. You have this ability, you have this power, group number 3, to extend that force field so far outside of yourself. And then anything and everything that is in alignment that you judge to be so can that force field can envelop it. And then it is just protected. It is just protected by your magic, by your power, by your energy, by your ability. That is one of your spiritual gifts. You might be a witch, a wizard, a warlock, whatever, or a magical one, we don't have to gender it. But you might be like that, okay? And you have that ability to suss out like everything that is not the vibe. I hate using words like the enemies, the dark energies. I don't like using words like that, but listen, if there was a time and a place to use that word, those words or those kind of concepts, it would be in telling you that you have the ability to like banish all of that. So you might be super tapped into that already and you just do this on a regular basis. But if you're not, this is definitely your message to like, listen, tap into that. Anoint yourself with oil, draw an ankh on the back of your neck, wear some jewelry that has some protective crystals, say a spell, come up with like a 2 or 3 line little spell of protection that you just say every time you leave the house and every time you come home, or whatever. Do that, because I'm telling you what, it'll be heard and it will work. It will work. Your protection magic is potent, baby. Oh, I gotta pause. The gas guy is here. Sorry about that, group 3. I've been waiting for the gas guy to come because my water heater went out and I haven't had hot water in 4 days. So that has not been the vibe. I had to quickly stop and let him into the back to fix that. But we're going to keep going with your reading. So sorry about that interruption. Okay, we were discussing protection magic. Boom. There you go. There you have it. All right. Let's get deeper into some of your spiritual gifts. Some more of group 3's spiritual gifts. What are some more spiritual gifts of the people that selected pile 3 today? Pile 3. Okay, there we go. There's one. Let's maybe grab one more, if one more wants to come out. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So, group 3, you definitely have this ability to, what's the word I'm looking for? When something is for you and when something is not for you. Sorry, I have to keep cutting because this guy's, the gas guy's walking around the house and it's making my dog bark over what I'm saying. So what I was about to say though, group 3, is you have this ability to know when it's time to walk alone. That is a spiritual gift, okay? Because you understand that sometimes the growth, the journey of growth is one that you must walk alone, right? Sometimes we can be there face to face, eye to eye with someone, and then when we're ready to move on to something new and to experience something new and to become this higher, more evolved version of ourselves, we understand that that's okay if they're not there and we have to go solo. That speaks to your bravery and your commitment to your growth. That is a gift. The gift of being committed to your spiritual growth. That is a gift. That is a power. Because that, like I said, requires so much bravery. That requires this trust. You know what I mean? This trust that whatever is on the other side of those mountains is for you and is worth the risk. Because you are in this trust with the universe. You are in this trust with spirit. That you believe that you're being guided, that you're being guided rather, even if it's a road that you walk alone. And you also know that, there might be more people that are more in alignment for you, with you on the other side of that. Okay. So that is the spiritual gift of surrender, bravery, trust, and just following that deeper desire, right? Following that deeper desire and that desire to grow, to know, to explore, to be more. You have that ability. That can be scary. So many people stay exactly where they're at because they don't want to leave behind their relationship. They don't want to, have to maybe separate from family members or have to, just let friendships that you've had for such a long time kind of have to fizzle out because you realize we're not in alignment. I need to walk this path alone. A lot of people don't even have the ability to do that. A lot of people don't have the trust. They don't feel that bravery. They don't feel that surrender, that connection, that deep knowing that there is something more for them. So they just kind of stay where they're at. But you're not like that, group 3. You're not like that. And that's powerful. And that's empowered. Let's go further. Sorry, that water heater guy really threw me off there. But we're getting back into it now. 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay. So this right here tells me that you are being called to and invited to explore meditation more. You, to me, group 3, based on this card coming up in reverse, you are probably someone who doesn't have a really strong meditation practice, or perhaps you are just beginning one. You might be just beginning a strong meditation practice and this is all new to you. But listen, you have to quiet your mind. Wow. Okay. Yes. So you have to really learn how to quiet your mind, because it's through that practice of quieting the mind that you are going to be able to receive so many more messages, so many more downloads. Spirit is trying to talk to you. You are psychic, baby. But like, you got to tap into that gift so much more powerfully through a practice of quieting your mind. Meditation, right? Get off your phone, like stop scrolling, stop watching TV for a little bit, whatever, and literally just sit in the silence and listen. That's what you're being called to do. Because wow, it's almost like there's this fear of your spiritual gifts, which is so funny, right? Because something about that is out of alignment with this bravery of walking your spiritual path. You have this ability, right? You are so open and so able to walk your path and walk it alone and move forward and do that. But there's also this there's some resistance here that I'm tapping into when it comes to your psychic abilities. Your actual spiritual power. You are powerful, but you have to let yourself get quiet enough to hear the messages and to trust them. Because sometimes when your mind is going, it's really hard to discern what is just my anxiety talking, what is just my normal mental thinking mind, stream of consciousness, and what is a psychic message? What is my deep intuition? What is the voice of my higher self? Sometimes it's hard to discern because it's just this constant stream of thoughts, this constant information intake, information overload, that it's the lack of quietness, the lack of quieting the mind that is making it hard for you to actually even really tell and discern what messages are messages from spirit, what messages are messages from higher self, what messages are psychic downloads, and what is just the chitter chatter of your mind. That's actually why a ritual like automatic writing could be really powerful, because sometimes some people don't really vibe with just quiet sitting meditation. And listen, that's totally okay. But finding some exercises like automatic writing, and honestly connecting back with that element of air, and swords is air as well. It could also be breath work. Could also be breathing exercises. Sometimes just focusing on breath is a great way to quiet the mind, but doing so in a structured way. That's why breathing exercises can be really powerful, because sometimes just sitting in meditation and simply focusing on in, out is not quite enough. And that's hard for people to come to that space. But it could be different breathing exercises where it's you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 8, or whatever it is. There are different kind of breathing exercises that are a little bit more structured, and that could be more accessible for you, group 3. But the message is you have to quiet the mind so that you can really hear the messages. Okay? Because wow, the psychic ability is crazy. Crazy. Let's go a little further, group number 3. Yeah, Queen of Swords in reverse, lack of mental clarity, or rather, lack of mental clarity. Listen, I said it, so there it is. And the 9 of Wands, that comes back to the protection energy, right? Comes right back to the protection energy. So that might be another thing too, right? The more you quiet the mind and the more that you get you're able to really hear all the messages that you're able to download more clearly, the more you'll feel like you don't have to have your guard up so much. Right now, there's this energy of like, yes, you are protected and you have the power to protect yourself, but it feels like right now it's like an energy you have to hold with you. But it doesn't have to be like that. You actually have the ability to just move from that space, of being protected without even doing anything. But you can't come to that place without that mental clarity, without that quiet mind. Okay, let's get some nature nurture cards for you. A couple more of these. Some more of the spiritual gifts for group 3. Oh, there's 2. Resilient and guide. Resilient. So yes, okay. Your ability to just bounce back is incredible. You have this fire and this strength inside of you. It kind of reminds me, back to this card, right? This ability to walk your path, your spiritual path, your self-growth, your self-empowerment path alone and bounce back. Man, like nobody can get you down, group 3. You are so strong. It's inspiring, actually. It's inspiring. And also, I love that this is desert, right? Because the desert, the desert, it just like, it adapts, right? All the, you think like, oh man, plants, this and that, they need water, they need this, but not the plants in the desert. They've adapted to thrive in the environment that they're in. That's what resiliency is about, right? That is one of your gifts, your ability to adapt, thrive, bounce back based on the situation that you're in right now. You are just tapped into your needs and your desires to a point where like you can make it work anywhere. Now, whether you know that or not, that's a different story. But I'm telling you, you can. You're the kind of person. Oh, I got to pause for a second. So sorry, group 3. I was interrupted one more time by the gas company guy, but he just left. So that should be the last interruption. I really apologize about that. Anyway, picking up what I was saying. You might not know this, but you are the kind of person that can be dropped off anywhere, in any time, with any resource, and you will make it happen. You will make it work. You have this like fighter inside of you. You have this resiliency inside of you, and you might not know that, but actually you might. But the thing is, you're there's just some part of you that's not like owning that. And that doesn't mean that you're like, you might be like, what? I know I'm like that. I know that I would, make anything happen. I could do, but like what I mean by owning that is I mean like letting yourself move through that place, taking more risks, taking more chances on things. And so we also have guide. Okay. That speaks back, I think, to the messages, like letting yourself be guided a little bit more by spirit, letting yourself be guided. You have that ability to talk directly to your spirit guides. That is one of your spiritual gifts because you're so psychic, right? You have the ability to speak directly to spirit, to your spirit guides. So if you know that already, awesome. Trust that you are actually speaking to your guides, speaking directly to spirit. If you don't know that already, this is where we go back to that practice of quieting the mind, of finding some rituals, some various practices that will help you discern that voice more, because like you have a direct line. You do. That is one of your spiritual gifts, direct line to spirit. But there's something a little bit clouded. The communication line's a little bit clouded right now. Just feels like there's too many distractions. Try to, limit, like try to like let those distractions dissolve the distractions, get clear, because that's all you need to do. You have a question, you have an issue, you have a challenge, you have a concern, just send it out to spirit and you will get a message right back. I'm telling you. That's awesome. You are so tapped in like that. I'm going to grab nurture, nurture, whichever order card for you. Group number 3, spiritual gifts for group number 3. Oopsie, spiritual gifts. Give me one more card, Spirit. Group number 3, one more card. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. We'll do this one. Magic. Okay. So we've got magic. I don't know if you have dabbled in spell work. I was discussing with you earlier, group 3, like writing spells, doing spells, rituals, magic could, be potentially really powerful and potent for you, but this is confirmation. You are a witch. You're a wizard, Harry. Like, it is that energy. You have the ability to do magic. Your stuff shakes. You got to tap into this, man. Like, you have got to tap into this, group 3. You might already know this. You might already know that you are magical. You might already have rituals. You might already do spells. This is confirmation that your shit shakes. This stuff works. Whatever you're doing, it works. And either it's confirmation or encouragement. You got to tap into this if you're not. Like, you have got to tap into this if you're not. You have so much more control over the world around you than you think you do if you're not tapped into this. Like, dang, group 3. Listen, it could look however you want it to look. Your world, your life could look however you want it to look if you tap into your magic. That's incredible. That's how powerful you are. And, this could mean if you already have this harnessed for yourself and you are already this person that is like, I do my spellcraft, I do this and that, it works for me, I see the results, yada, 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 then great. Maybe you're being encouraged by Spirit to start working your magic for others and with others. Especially if you're looking for a way to do more as far as service. I mean, do a collective candle or write a petition on behalf of the collective. Focus some of your spell work towards the collective awakening, towards the collective healing. That could be really, really powerful and beautiful. But if you're not there yet, you need to start harnessing this for yourself first and foremost. Okay, group 3? Harness that magic for yourself. Watch your life change so fast. And then be of service. That's amazing. Sheesh. Okay. All right, group 3, that was your reading. Sorry if it was a little shorter and because of the interruptions, but I hope you found some empowering, enlightening information into this, something you can take with you and, move through the world that much stronger. And please do consider subscribing to the channel. If you're not, it's a new channel, it's growing, and I would love for you to be part of my original community that we're building here. So thank you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.